Let's be honest, nobody plays an RPG for the main story. I'd be willing to bet that most of you have forgotten what the battle with Alduin was even like, or what Geralt was supposed to be doing before you got distracted and scuttled off the path. Do any of you even know the whereabouts of your own darling boy Sean? Not that the strange plasticine grub was worth the hassle anyway. No, these plotlines are constantly falling by the wayside in favour of gallivanting around doing side quests like the true procrastinator you are. Yes, Zelda, I know Calamity Ganon is being a rascal, but I'm a bit busy taking photos, so I'll have to wait. You can tell a good RPG by the quality of its secondary objectives. The ones that build compelling side stories or craft rewarding challenges live the longest in our memories. The games that thankfully deviate from the usual gaming tropes of fetch quests and escort missions. However, while these alternative quests are often in keeping with the tone of their game, sometimes there'll be one that stands out from the rest for its relative strangeness. So, let's have a look at some of the weirdest ones. I'm Peter from TripleJump, and here are the 10 strangest side quests in video games. Number 10. KOROK Seeds, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Tediously gathering a veritable mountain of collectibles is par for the course in open world games nowadays. Insert clip of easy target here. There are too many titles which pad out their playtime with unnecessary twaddle, all in the name of content. It's a trope of modern gaming that deserves to go the way of on-rail shooters and fade into obscurity. And I'm sure you're now all shouting, "Oh, a negative criticism in an entry about The Legend of Zelda? What is this heresy? There's never been a single thing wrong with any of them ever." But at least hear me out first. I'm about to get positive, don't worry. The thing that makes the task of collecting KOROK seeds so strange is threefold. Firstly, there's 900 of them. 900! Secondly, they're hidden away in unmarked locations, often locked behind mini puzzles, making them very hard to find. And finally, the prize you get for collecting them all is a golden plops. Despite this, the KOROK seeds themselves are fun to collect, and the challenges make them satisfying to find. Plus, the inclusion of the prize shows that the sheer number of them is a parody of the gaming trope, rather than a legitimate attempt at content filler. So, kudos Nintendo, I'll treasure my poop forever. Number 9. EPSILON, Grand Theft Auto 5. There is plenty of strangeness to be found in GTA 5. Aliens, clowns, ghosts, the list goes on. But is there anything more deserving of a place on this list than the EPSILON cult? Many of you may have never even noticed the EPSILON side missions, partly due to the strange way in which you access them. Unlike the usual mission marker approach that the game uses to show you what's available, the EPSILON story is accessed via their website. If you search for the cult, religious organization, sorry Kiflom. If you search for the religious organization on your handy in-game phone, you'll be given a questionnaire to complete. Pass this, and your journey of enlightenment will begin. The initiation process involves all manner of tasks, including stealing vehicles, finding special objects, running for miles in a desert, and of course, because it's a religious organization, giving EPSILON lots of money. It's okay though, we all know it's for the greater good. It's impressive how much content there is hidden away in this storyline actually. Many unique missions and cutscenes are to be found, as well as the potential to actually pocket a few $million dues. See? It was for the greater good. Shut it! Number 8. The Ballad of Lord Woolsley, Dragon Age Inquisition. The side quests in Inquisition can be a bit overwhelming due to the sheer amount of them. They range from the tedious to the memorable, and like most RPGs, can just be ignored if you're not feeling up to them. Yet amongst this standard fare, there is the occasional gem. For many of you, the Ballad of Lord Woolsley would seem an unassuming one. Recover a lost ram. It's basically a fetch quest. So far, so RPG. You're supposed to find the ram, obviously. The protagonist will then acknowledge it, it, and then you can head back to claim your reward. But if you were to, by happenstance, kill Lord Woolsley in some manner, purely accidentally of course, then things can get a bit spicy. Turns out that Lord Woolsley is a rage demon. Now, if the quest always involved Woolsley turning into a demon, requiring you to defeat it, then that'd be pretty par for the course in a fantasy game, but the fact that you can do multiple playthroughs of Dragon Age Inquisition without ever discovering this demon in disguise makes it that much more wonderful when you eventually do. Not that I've ever seen Lord Woolsley turn into a rage demon for myself, because, you know, I wouldn't dream of killing him. What do you take me for? Number 7. Who are you to judge? Red Dead Redemption. Rockstar's Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto series have an advantage over more fantasy-themed games on this list simply because they're grounded in reality, and therefore any of these stranger quests seem even weirder by comparison. So, when the Who Are You to Judge storyline from Red Dead Redemption comes to a conclusion, you're caught even more off guard than a typical fantasy RPG quest. In this side mission, Jeb Blankenship asks you to bring the love of his life back to him, so you follow your map marker to Tumbleweed and happen across a woman, Anne Stevenson, accompanied by a horse. You can see where this is going. Our hero, John Marston, assumes that Anne is this mystery lost love and asks her to come back to Jeb with him, but Anne tells John that Jeb's lover is actually the horse, Lucy. You'll meet many strange people while adventuring around the American frontier, but no encounter will stay with you quite as long as this one with Jeb does. While there are many things on this list stranger than a man fancying a horse, it's the setting and semi-realistic situation that Red Dead Redemption puts you in that makes this hit a bit too close to home. Side note, if you're ever looking up this mission online, make sure to include the game name. Googling simply "man in love with horse" is not advised. Number 6. Mysterious Box, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Here's another side quest in a BioWare game that you might have missed if, like me, you're a bit too lame, I mean a bit too cool to break the rules. While playing Knights of the Old Republic, you'll eventually happen upon a quest involving a mysterious box. You're asked to transport it to Tatooine, a simple task, I'm sure you'll agree. However, you're told explicitly not to open it. Easily done for us cool rule followers, but for those rebels out there, this can prove to be too tantalizing a prospect. You can just deliver the box and that's it. A good honest day's work. But if you open it, you'll be transported to a mind prison where you'll have to outwit the criminal inhabitant in a game of riddles in order to escape. I bet you weren't expecting that one, were you? If you fail to best the baddie at his own game, he'll transport his mind into your body, leaving you trapped forever, interminably waiting for either the sweet release of death or to plunge into insanity, brought on by the anguish of solitude. Jesus, I thought Star Wars was just Ewoks and Jar Jar Binks. This is some really dark stuff. Number 5. Cup Noodle, Final Fantasy 15. Video game product placements aren't exactly a new concept, but few are as blatant as the Cup Noodle side quest in Final Fantasy 15. If you're unaware of what I'm talking about, you might just assume that there's a noodle stall somewhere in the world, and that's what we're calling product placement in this case. But no, it's so much more than that. The Shameless Sellout is an entire questline, complete with some of the most forced dialogue ever heard in a game.
All that trouble to make our own custom cup. It's made me appreciate cup noodles even more.
Oh, painful. Yes, you are tasked with gathering the ingredients to make the perfect cup noodle. A vital task, I'm sure you'll agree. You have 3 options to choose from when it comes to picking the focal point of your dish so that you can, and I quote, make our noodle dream a reality. This is making Resi 1's script seem Oscar-worthy. You could almost say this is so over the top that it's a parody of product placements themselves. But when you look at something like GTA, you realise that if you're parodying product placement, you would use a fake brand rather than, actual cup noodle. This is shameful. Number 4. The Silver Shroud, Fallout 4. You there, miscreant! I give you the greatest, the bravest, the smartest of all heroes in Bethesda's magniflorious creation, Fallout 4. This, of course, is the Silver Shroud. You'll hear upon the radio a message... Okay, that's enough of that. As I was saying, you'll hear upon the radio a message from Kent Connolly when in range of the District Good Neighbour. He's put a call out for fellow fans of the pre-war radio show, The Silver Shroud, to help him bring the eponymous hero back to life. What follows is a campy adventure where you get to scupper the plans of crooks while speaking like a stereotypical 1930s radio serial detective, which I probably didn't do a very good impression of. It's been a while. Bethesda are well known for their RPGs laden with countless numbers of side quests. They're also famous for the variety and scale of these quests, so expansive and often bizarre adventures aren't exactly new to them. The Silver Shroud, however, is up there with the best they've ever created. Thank you, almighty Todd Howard, for what you've given us. Now, stop ruining the series and fix Fallout 76. The Shroud's questline involves a lot of crime solving, adventuring, and generally hamming it up to the bemusement of the locals, and we love it.
Today, you face the Silver Shroud.
Number 3. Equine Phantoms, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Ask a fan of the RPG genre which game has the best side quests, and more often than not, they'll say The Witcher 3. CD Projekt Red put their all into making each and every side quest memorable. While some may fall a bit flat, there are plenty that can provide an unforgettable experience, though perhaps none better than that of Equine Phantoms. After taking a powerful brew made from suspicious mushrooms, to help someone, of course, definitely not for any other purpose, Geralt suddenly gains the ability to communicate with Roach, his horse, and oh my, it's an interesting conversation.
Based on what? Your vast experience with talking animals?
You can ask Roach a series of almost fourth wall-breaking questions along the lines of, how do you always show up when I whistle, and following it up with, it's kind of strange when you can cross an ocean when I call, but get hung up on a tiny fence. There's even a mystery to solve, and much like the Silver Shroud quest in Fallout 4, it includes plenty of over-the-top acting. Roach even quotes a David Bowie song from the film Labyrinth. Just as well, though, that they chose that puppet-heavy movie rather than The Never-Ending Story. I don't think Roach would really like the scene where Artax sinks into the bog. I certainly don't. Number 2. Romeos and Juliets, Nier Automata. If you're yet to see the robot-led stage production of Romeos and Juliets in Nier Automata, or Nier Automata if you want to get different pronunciation about this, then I highly recommend you seek it out. Let me set the scene. The curtains part and the stage is lit by spotlights. One of our leads, Juliet 1, takes the stage and utters the famous phrase, "Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?" He appears and responds, "Ah, Juliet, Juliet, wherefore art thou, Juliet?" Then Juliet 2 appears and says, "Oh Romeo..." Hang on, Juliet 2? Then Romeo 2 appears, followed by another one of each. Now there's 6 in total, a fight breaks out and they all die. Yeah, just as I remember it from school. This, shall we say, alternate version of the Shakespearean play is definitely a marvel to witness, as strange as it may be. Most importantly of all, however, this play includes one of the best lines of dialogue in gaming history. Oh, just beautiful. Nier Automata may not be everyone's cup of tea, especially those more accustomed to the more Western-style RPG, but if you want to play something totally unlike anything else, give it a go. You know, we all like different things. You say automato, I say automato. And number 1, A Night to Remember, Skyrim. Feasibly any of the Elder Scrolls games could have taken this top spot. There were even many other contenders from Skyrim itself that could have made the cut, such as The Mind of Madness and A Daedra's Best Friend. However, there's one mission above all that deserves the accolade of TripleJump's Strangest side quest. A Night to Remember sees the Dragonborn take part in a drinking contest with Sam for the chance to win a staff. After a few too many special brews though, and perhaps a little drop of skooma, ooh, naughty, you win the competition and pass out. And that's when things get interesting. Waking up in a temple, you are told that you trashed the place the night before and have to clean it up. After doing so, you head to Rorikstead to discover that you also kidnapped a goat and sold it to a giant. Additionally, you got married to a hag raven and are indebted after you borrowed a wedding ring for the occasion. Finally, retracing your steps back to Sam finishes the Dude Where's My Car quest, but that's not the end of this hangover from hell. You'll find Sam in the Misty Grove, a place only accessible in this questline. It turns out that Sam is a Daedric prince, which for those unfamiliar with the Elder Scrolls is a pretty big deal. And let's not forget that this all started just from talking to a bloke in a random pub. This is what makes Skyrim and its strange side quests so special. And that's our list, but with so many more oddities out there, let us know your personal favourites in the comments below. You can follow myself and TripleJump on Twitter here, and if you want to support the things you enjoy, then check out the rewards on our Patreon. Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I've been Peter from TripleJump, and thanks for watching.